Hello GED students, it's GED question of the day time again, and it looks like our algebra is getting a little trickier here. We've been solving equations for the last few days, but we haven't seen anything quite so tricky as this. So let's go ahead and look at the directions. The directions say solve the equation for k, and I will recommend you that if I'm solving for k, what my goal is to do is to isolate k. Get k all by itself on one side of the equal sign so that I can solve the mystery of what k is equal to. And that's what we mean when we say solve an equation. Okay, and so there are three big principles of solving linear equations. Most of the problems you're going to see on the GED are linear equations. Those are the simplest kinds. In fact, all the problems we've done so far are linear. When we get to one that's not linear, I'll point it out to you. But for now, this is the big principles that we're going to use to solve equations. One, you should make sure that if there's any work you could do on the left or right-hand side, any simplifying, that you go ahead and do that. That's a good wisdom principle. It's actually not required. It's not the only way to work on a problem, but it sure does make things easier if you simplify before you start solving. So I'll simplify my left and right-hand side. Once I'm done with that, I'll make sure all my letters are on one side. So I'll get all variable terms to the same side. Now, these three steps I'm giving you will work with any linear equation. You won't always need all three. These are the big three principles. Sometimes they don't all apply. Sometimes there's only one or two things to do. And then finally, we'll do that work to get the letter alone. We'll isolate the variable, get the letter alone. Okay, so first thing, simplify the left-hand side and the right-hand side. If there's any work that I know how to do on the right or the left, I should do it. And what I notice here is I see some distribution. And that's just a multiplication. That's all that means. That's the fact that multiplication passes out over parentheses. So I know how to multiply 3 by all that jazz that's in the parentheses. And so that's what I should do. I'm going to use the distributive property, remembering that multiplication passes out over parentheses. So 3 times k is 3k. And 3 times positive 6 is a positive or plus 18. Now on the right-hand side, is there any simplifying I can do here? Well, there's some multiplication, but I don't know what negative 2 times k is because I don't know what k is. There's some subtraction in this problem, but I can't do that subtraction because you can only add and subtract like terms. And so there's no simplification I can do on the right, so I'll just drop the right-hand side. Great. So I did that first step. I did any simplification that I could do. Now the next step says get all variables to the same side. Now we've had lots of problems in the past where this wasn't an issue, but it is definitely an issue here. Notice that I have a variable, a k, on the left-hand side of the equation, and I have a variable, a k, on the right-hand side of an equation. I can't have the letter on both sides. And so the next thing that I should do is get all my variable terms to the same side. Okay, now because I do not like negative numbers if I can help it, I think I will move this minus 2k, because the opposite of minusing 2k is adding 2k. Notice I'm not dividing here because I'm not separating the negative 2 and the k. I'm adding because I'm moving that entire term. Okay. Now, the rule of solving is that I can do whatever I want as long as I do it to both sides. So I'm going to jump across my equal sign and I'm going to write the plus 2k under here. Notice that I write the plus 2k right under the 3k because I know I can only combine like terms. Now, after I make this balance change on both sides, let's see what my new equation will be. 3k, well, I had 3k originally, but then I went and added 2k to it, so now I'll have 5k's. I had a plus 18 and I haven't changed that, so I still have a plus 18. And that'll be equal to, let's take a look at the right-hand side, negative 2k and positive 2k will zero out. And, of course, if I have 0 minus 7 or nothing, take away 7, I'll just be left with that minus 7, that negative 7. Great. Now I've gotten the variables all to that left-hand side, and so now, since I have the variables all on one side, it's going to be possible to isolate the variable, to get all the numbers away from the letters. Remember to follow your This is the solving process right here when I'm isolating the variable. So this is the time to work your GEMA, your order of operations, backwards. Since you're undoing things instead of doing what you're told, you're being disobedient, doing exact opposite, we're going to use the opposite order of operations. So I'm going to get rid of anything that's adding or subtracting first. That 18 was adding, so I'll do the opposite of adding, which is subtracting 18. And what's that going to do for me? Well, my adding 18, my subtracting 18 will cancel, so all that's left there is 5k. See how I'm getting the letter alone? And on the right-hand side, there's that math to do. -7 if I'm already in debt, $7. And then I go and subtract another $18, spend another $18. I'm going to be at -25. Great, I'm almost done now, but my k is not quite alone. There's still a 5 I need to get rid of. Okay, that's 5 times k. They're shoved up together like that. When two things are shoved up together, like a number and a letter with nothing in between them, we can be sure they're multiplying. So the opposite of multiply is divide. You get rid of something by doing the opposite, the inverse operation. So 5 divides by 5, just like I wanted, so that k is alone. And I've run out of space to write, so I'm going to come put it over here. K is alone. That was what happened on my left-hand side, because multiplying and dividing by 5 cancel. And then, of course, I wrote the divide by 5 on the right-hand side as well, so that my equation would stay balanced. And this is the math to do. -25 divided by 5 is -5. So I just found out that k is equal to -5. Great. A little bit more of a complicated equation. What you're more likely to see on the GED, because you pretty much always have multi-step equations on it when you have one. So hope that made sense to you. If it didn't, be sure to ask any questions. Let's get it sorted out.